OYA, 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 OYA. I am spirit. I am love. I am joy and I am light. OYA, 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 OYA. You are joy. You are love. You are spirit and you are light. OYA, 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 OYA. We are joy. We are love. We are spirit and we are light. Happy Thursday, everybody. Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. And I started on my other channel, and my apologies that I'm not singing. It's okay. I don't have to sing on drum all the time. I'll finish off the video with that. But I want to welcome you to another week of growth, another week of intention, another week of medicine. Now, another second, minute, hour, day, week, year, decade. Are you ready? Oishino, oishino, oishino. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? So this morning I was at home and I was working with clients, and I finished with my particular client, and something started to happen. Emotion came up, a lot of emotion. There was no sadness, there was no grief, there was no hurt, there was no wound, there was no shame, there was none of those things. They were tears of joy. It was emotions of joy. It was overwhelming emotions that I was allowed to have, and I was allowing myself to have. And as I had those emotions, I started to receive downloads from the guides, from the spirits, from all those that work on my behalf and on your behalf. I work on your behalf. So, and one of the messages that they asked was, and I say one of the messages that they asked, it wasn't a message that they gave me, it was what they allowed me to hear. And they wanted me to ask you, does your heart lie? And do you allow yourself to lie so you can find a false love, a love that you can change and make yours, that you can manipulate, that you can call yours until you're tired of it? Do you give yourself love, or is it hard for you to ask for what you want? Is it out of your character to say, can you help me? Will you help me? Do you love me? Will you be my friend? Do you have a minute? Do you have a minute to talk? Do you know how to say that to people? And sometimes we don't, and we ingest things into our system, into our heart space, heart, lungs, air. I love, I'm loved. And we lie to ourselves with these things. Cigarette smoke, when it gives us a temporary fix to a long-term problem. When will you take time out and approach the long-term problem? The childhood wound. Did you leave the child behind? Were you transgressed upon? Were you abused verbally? Were you abused physically? Were you abused sexually? Were your parents divorced at an early age? Did your father disappear? Did your mother disappear? Were they living in the house and they weren't present? Through the ism, alcoholism, drug addiction, food addiction, and other things. And were you left there to fend for yourself? And my question to you is, why would you know how to fend for yourself? We don't. We were never taught as children. But we grow up without those tools, important tools, of how to take care of our heart and how to fend for ourselves. And we're lost. We get lost in relationships. We get lost in our job. We get lost in the slavery of having a job. We get lost in low self-esteem, no self-esteem. And we will lie to ourselves, and we will allow ourselves to lie to our heart, and our heart will lie to us back. It'll mirror that lie and allow us to continue in that pattern until we do something about it, until somebody like me comes along and says, hey, what are you doing? What is that? Where did that come from? How did this come about? And there's going to be somebody, if not me, to ask those questions, somebody to hold your hand, somebody to pat you on the back, to hold you in the place of your backside, of your third chakra, your fire, your fuego. I can, I will, I do, I am. And they will say to you, I will support you. I will be your friend. I will be your lover. And I'm not talking about a physical lover. I'm talking about a lover of the soul. Do you love your soul? Do you know how to connect to your soul? Are you connected to your soul, or are you living in the upper in the upper rafters of your thinking, your brain, what do I want to call it? In the ethers. Aho. Do you live in the clouds? Are you a daydreamer? Are you a wisher? Are you a thinker? Or do you live in technology all day long and you're constantly here, but you don't know how to be in your body, your heart, your breath, your fire, your water, your earth? Aho. The 4 elements of the earth are the 4 elements of the body. And the bridge, the heart space, air, is the bridge to the higher self. Aho. But we don't need to live up here. We need to come down out of here and live in our heart space. Heart space. The heart space, and I talk about this all the time. This sound is the sound of the very first sound we heard, which was the sound of our mother's heart while we were in utero. I talk about this almost every time I turn on this camera. But how many of you don't know how to connect to that sound, or have been wanting to connect to that sound for a lifetime? How many of you have a broken heart from being little children, from being molested, from being abused, from being left at home, left alone, whatever the case may be? How many of you have a broken heart and don't know how to listen to that because you're up in your head thinking about, how can I find love? How can I give love? How can I be love? Where can I find love? And you're busy not allowing yourself to be in love with the child that was wounded, and being in love with the self that's right here, right now, that's present in the gift of your presence, in the presence of your gift. Aho, shinowana honata. Aho, shinowana he. Does your heart lie to you? And do you let it? You know, when somebody says, you know, they love you, and then they have sex with you, or you have sex with them, and then they go away because they only said I love you so they could have the physical. How do you sit with that? How are you with that? Do you allow that to overwhelm your senses, overwhelm your thinking? Do you get do you start eating? Do you start shopping? Do you start looking for a way to fulfill that emptiness that you thought was love, and you don't know how to give yourself love? Because love is love. Love is not a thinking. Love is not a wanting. Love is not a wishing. Love is a being. Love is a doing. Aho. And not outwardly. You know, people talk about you know, God's love and the love of Jesus Christ and all these things, but those are outward things that we're chasing, that we were taught to chase by a society that really doesn't care about us. Oh, and all those things are about monetary values, they're about money, they're about churches and things like that. But are you willing to get past that and ask yourself, Anthony, do you really love you? Do you know how to love you? Do you know how to be with you? Do you know how to do with you? I asked my client this morning, who struggles with weight, I asked her that when she got off the phone with me, that she would go into a place where there was a full-length mirror where she could see her full body, and that she would take her clothes off and be with herself the way that she looks right now, without gasping, without complaining about being fat, without worrying about muffin tops or any of those things, any of the folds that we get as we grow older. And allow herself to be with her. Allow herself to be with what some people think of as imperfections. You know, and I say that because there are people who have imperfections, and what they do is they cover themselves up with plastic surgery in their breasts, augmentation, heart, lungs, air, I love, I'm loved. Understand the energetics of that. What they do is they have their lips enhanced. You know, fifth chakra, they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to ask for love, but they know how to spend the money to put injections into their face. They know how to stretch their face so they can make themselves look younger. They even go to Snapchat and they try to they use the filters to create a different face for themselves that's a lie. That is not the truth of who they are. And I see that and I feel sad for those people. Aho. With me, what you see is what you get. I don't edit my videos. I don't use any filters. In fact, I'm more in the dark these days when I do these videos, because I want you to hear my words. I want you to be with the essence of what it is that I'm saying to you, and not be distracted by my face. More and more, I will be going into silhouette, and you will be able to hear my voice, hear my words, be with the sound that you hear, the silence and the sound. And as I speak, as the drum, allow it to become one in vibration. Allow those two entities to become one. Allow yourself to say yes to yourself. Allow yourself to say yes to my words. Allow yourself to say no as well. But I'll ask you, when was the last time you really said yes to yourself? When was the last time you said yes to your heart? When was the last time you said yes to the things that you really want? Really. We get immersed in the traps. And I call them mortgages, I call them jobs, I call them universities, I call them families, I call them whatever it is that society likes to sidetrack you with. When was the last time you said yes to you, to your heart, to your true love? Now, I got taken to task by somebody when I was speaking from my heart the other day in my last video, because I was very passionate about what I had to say. And I was called angry. When I was a younger man, I was angry and high human, and those things, those things that come out of us never go away. We just learn how to manage the heart space, how to manage the tongue, the way we speak. So if you don't know how to understand what it is I'm saying, and you hear it through your ears and not through your heart, there's going to be a misunderstanding there, and that's okay. And there's going to be a standing there. You will miss it, and you will be standing there. Thank you, guys. Thank you for giving me that. So ask yourself, does my heart lie to me? Do I lie to my heart? Do I lie to myself? Do I know how to be with myself and give to myself? And the answer for the most part is no. We don't. We don't. So how do I remedy that? What is it that I'm going to do to change my life? Well, stop lying to yourself about what it is you truly want in your life. Do you want a husband in your life? I have a friend. In fact, I'm at her house today. I have a friend named Kathy, and we talk about dating all the time. And she says, I don't want to date. I don't have time for that shit. And that's an honest answer, right? And there's people who don't know how to say that. They've been conditioned to believe and to think that they have to have a partner, a life partner, all the time. And you see them. That's all they talk about. And some of them are well-meaning healers. Some of them are well-meaning teachers. But the wounded healer shows itself constantly. And until the wounded healer heals that part of their soul that is broken, that broken heart, they're going to look desperate and sound desperate every time they try to teach you. I don't need to sound desperate. I don't need to be desperate. I was desperate for 50 years. I didn't know how to do anything else. And that's truth. 50 years. The number 5 is a number of freedom. I set myself free at 51 and started to let go of those things that I could no longer carry, that I was burdened by, that weren't given to me by me. They were given to me by well-meaning people. And it's said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I lived in that hell. Don Miguel Ruiz talks about that in the book, The Four Agreements. I lived in my own hell. I created my own hell. Other people created hell for me and around me. Now I have to take a responsibility. If I love myself, if I step into my heart space and say, I don't have to do that anymore. I won't do that anymore. I'm going to give myself something good. Will you? Can you? Do you? Or do you allow yourself to lie to yourself, allow your heart to lie to you, and you lie to your heart back? You mirror that back to each other. And you lie about what it is that you want and what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're going to do and I should do and I could do and I'm thinking about doing and I'm wishing about doing, but you don't do anything. Oh. I once met a woman in Los Angeles. I was at a psychic fair, and I was sitting at a table with a basket of sage. I wasn't participating in the psychic fair other than being there supporting my friends. And this woman walked up to me with that look in her eye, like I used to look at women, and sometimes still do. And she said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Walking Crow. I am a healer, and I'm selling sage. I sell sage." And she sat down in front of me, and I said, "Who are you?" She says, "Oh, I'm Karen." She says, I'm a healer too, and I do this and I do that." And she went on and on and on with her litany of what she does and what she's learned and her certificates and all those lies. And she wasn't lying to me; she was lying to herself. And I said, "Really?" I said, "But what do you do?" And she said, "I just finished telling you I'm a master at this, and I'm this, and I wrote a book about that, and blah, 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 blah." And I stopped her again. I said, "No. Do you practice?" And she looked at me dumbfounded and said, "Well, no." I said, "Oh, then you don't do anything." She was lying to her heart. She was lying to herself. Her low self-esteem would not allow her to tell on herself. So she lived in her head about the certificates and everything she had done. Well, that doesn't make you a healer. That doesn't make you a teacher. That doesn't make you useful to other people unless you use your experiences in life and those things as stepping stones to moving forward and moving into a heart space of love and forgiveness of self. Do you forgive yourself? Are you forgiving of yourself? Can you? Will you? Do you? Do you know how? Oh, there are many people out there who know and appreciate the Ho'oponopono, but they don't actually practice forgiveness for themselves. They think it's for everybody else. Forgiveness is not for the others. Forgiveness is for you, for your calm, for your peace, for your letting go of the anxiety and the stress that you live in. You don't have to live that way. I won't allow you to. I will be direct and honest with you and call you on it. But I will love you and be with you in a nurturing way, and I will nurture the nature of who and what you are and who and what you have always been. And I will teach you to do that for yourself, and I will allow you and teach you to do that with others. So allow yourself to be who you are. Allow yourself to stop the lies. Allow yourself to give yourself the best of what you want and what you have to offer others and offer yourself. I've been thinking about this all day today, and I wasn't sure, or I was feeling about this all day today, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do this or how this was going to come across or how this was going to be. But this particular talk is going to lead to other things. It's going to lead to other events that I'm going to be doing in the very near future, because many of you, and a lot of the women especially, are coming to me, are coming into my knowing and understanding, and you're at the age of 50-ish, and you're coming into the end of the first half of your duality of life, and coming into the second half of the duality of life, where you become an elder, where you will become a grandmother, you will become a master, you will become knowledgeable, you will become somebody who nurtures the nature of your spirit, and the nurturing and the nature of the spirit of others. And this is what our job is in the second half of our life, in the duality as an elder. Now, don't get me wrong. Being an elder doesn't make me a master. It doesn't make you a master. It doesn't make us any smarter than anybody else. But it does make us wiser if we experience the experiences and share the experiences of the stepping stones of how we got from point A to point B. And others say and mirror back to you, "Me too. You too? Me too." All right. I think I've spoken long enough, and I hope that you guys get some meat out of what I just talked about. And if you feel you need help and you want to be mentored by me, reach out to me at Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com or walkingcrow@sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can give me a call at area code 818-442-1717, and we can talk, and we can set up a video conference where we can share, and we can find an understanding in the middle ground where we can work together and how we can work together for your good and the benefit of you. Aho, aho, aho. Because as I mentor people, I am benefited by this as well. I am feeding my heart. I am feeding my love. I am feeding my joy. I am feeding my light. I am feeding my spirit. Let go of the burdens that you carry for life and step into the divine spirit that you are, your divinity. And that's what this is truly about. Live in your divinity. Don't live in a false grace of religion. We all have grace, regardless of the Jew, the Muslim, the Buddhist, the Christian. We all have grace. Grace is not for a particular group or a particular person or a particular way of life. Grace is within every one of us, and we all carry grace. And allow others to have theirs as you have yours, and we will all be much happier. Aho, aho, aho. So I'm gonna sing a song. I'm playing my friend Kathy's drum. This drum is so beautiful. You guys can't even imagine how much. Well, you're gonna hear it. So, thank you for listening. Once again, if you feel you need help, walkingcrow at sacreddrummedicine.com. If you can't afford what is my normal rate, we can create a sliding scale for you and get you the help that you need. If it isn't me, I will refer you to somebody that you resonate with, and you should resonate with. Aho, aho. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Mother. Thank you, the guidance and the power of the medicine wheel, the four directions, all my relations. Aho mitaku yasin, aho shina sekho nakaho shin. They say neya anaho, I shina seho shin. Aho. Oa e, oa e, oa e. I am joy. I am love. I am spirit. And I am light. You are joy. You are love. You are spirit. And you are light. Oa e, oa e, oa e, oa e. We are joy. We are love. We are spirit. And we are light. Well, we won't do that, will we? Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Asking you to have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening and allow yourself to be truthful to yourself. Allow your heart to be open and nurture the nature of the true love of who and what you are and who and what you have always been. Aho, Shinawana Hunata. Aho, Shinawana Hey.